Hello, and welcome to Yoga with Megan. I'm Megan Vitale. Before we get started, just a couple quick things. Feel free to grab any props you have at your disposal to help you feel more comfortable in the poses. I'll offer modifications along the way. I have 2 blocks. Sometimes it's helpful to have a beach towel or a blanket handy, or even maybe a couple throw pillows to place under your knees. Anything that's going to make your practice enjoyable today. Just a reminder, we're all at different places, and please listen to your body. Think of everything I'm offering as simply a suggestion, and as I said, I will offer different ways to achieve the same benefits of the poses today. So let's begin. Go ahead and elevate your hips with a block or a blanket, rolled up towel. Hips over knees often helps us feel a little bit more comfortable in an easy seated pose. Also feel free to extend your legs if that feels more comfortable. Let your hands fall heavy on your legs, whether that's palms face down for a grounding feeling or flipping your palms face up for something perhaps more uplifting. This is the Mudra of Receiving. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze, looking straight ahead. And just begin to simply notice your breath. Notice where you are in this moment. You don't have to change anything. Begin by bringing awareness to your body. Notice any sensations on the skin. Notice the weight of your hands on your legs. Notice exactly what parts of the body are connected to your mat, maybe via a block or a blanket. Ultimately connecting you to the earth. Let that feeling help you slow things down. Let that feeling help you to get grounded. And as you begin to get settled in, feel free to make any adjustments to your breath. Maybe slowing the breath down a bit, extending your exhalations, maybe deepening the breath. Begin to release tension in the body on your next exhalation by relaxing your jaw, teeth, and tongue. And then release tension from your shoulders, your hips, ankles, and finally relaxing your toes. Begin to feel any tension you're holding on to, just release. You can visualize it rolling off your shoulders, down your arms, and away from your body. Maybe with the release of that tension, you feel a bit of a lightness. Maybe you just naturally feel your spine beginning to lengthen from the crown of the head up towards the sky or the ceiling. Go ahead and do a mental body scan from the top of your head to your toes. Noticing any spots that you're holding on to tension or discomfort. And feel free to send those areas a little love, mind or body. Take a moment to check in with your mind. Notice any emotions you might be bringing to your practice, thoughts, self-talk. And a great way to sweep away anything negative is to take a moment to count your blessings. Think of 3 things you're feeling grateful for in this moment. Let that gratitude perhaps lead you in an intention for your practice or beyond. Anything you'd like to focus on or attract into your life, silently repeat that to yourself. Maybe, I am joyful. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and then a slow breath from your nose as well. Placing one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. We'll do a few 3-part yogic breaths to get started. Inhaling in through your nose. First into the belly. Feel your belly press against your hand as it fills with air. And then into the ribs. Feel your rib cage expand around your body as it fills. Finally, feel your chest lift. And then exhale slowly. First the chest, ribs, and then the belly button pulls in towards the spine, fully exhaling any stale air trapped in the bottom of the lungs from shallow breathing. Again, inhaling in through your nose, into the belly, ribs and chest, and exhaling in reverse, chest, ribs, and finally the belly button pulls in towards the spine, fully exhaling. Feel free to take one more 3-part breath at your own pace, or release your hands back to your legs, beginning to normalize your breath. And then preparing for a seated forward fold Hashimotonasana. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Keep your shoulders relaxed, reaching up through the fingertips. Inhale, up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, reaching, reaching, reaching. When you can't comfortably hinge any further, release your hands wherever they land, soft knees. Maybe you can get your number 2s, your peace fingers, grabbing your big toes. And then 3 breaths here. Exhaling over your legs, feeling that stretch. Feeling yourself come a little deeper with each exhale. Anytime we're folding or twisting, it's really great to massage the organs. We're massaging the organs. And then looking up at your feet, powering up using your core, sitting up nice and tall. Shake it out a little bit. We're going to prepare for Atakanasana, or bound angle pose, also known as butterfly or cobblers. It's nice to have your blocks handy for this one to place under your knees. Let's place the soles of the feet together here. Again, if you want to place your blocks under your knees, that might help you feel more comfortable. And if it's within your practice, clasp your hands, hook them under the outside edges of the feet, and then sitting up nice and tall, lengthening through the spine, keeping the shoulders low. If this is uncomfortable, go ahead and grab a hold of your ankles as a modification. Again, keeping the spine long, sitting up nice and tall. This is a hip opener. Hip openers help us feel a release. They help us feel sometimes a little bit more settled. And we'll take 3 breaths here. You can keep your gaze straight ahead. Notice where you're feeling this right now. One more breath. Release your feet. Let's sit up nice and tall. And we're going to recline onto our backs. My knees are going to point towards the ceiling. You know what? Let's come into a full body stretch. Extend the legs out. Reach the arms up overhead. Clasp your hands. Flip the palms away from you. Flex your feet. The heels come off the mat. Big breath in through your nose. And then a big exhale out of your mouth. Release your arms. Release your feet out to the sides of your mat. Kind of just give your body what you need in this moment. And then we'll bend the knees, planting the feet on the mat, preparing for some moving bridges. So the arms are going to begin along the sides of the body. On the inhale, we're going to press into our feet, lifting the hips, lifting the belly button up towards the ceiling, as well as the arms. The arms are going to come straight up and release overhead onto the mat behind you. Press into your feet. Pretend you're holding onto an invisible beach ball, or maybe you want to place a block in between your knees. Exhale, roll down slowly. The arms come from up overhead, back along the sides of the body as the hips release back down to the mat. Let's continue. On the inhale, the hips lift, shoulders, neck, and head stay on the mat. The arms come up, press into your feet, really lift those hips up towards the ceiling, release the arms overhead. Feel that power in your legs, activating the legs. Exhale, roll down one vertebra at a time. The arms come back down along the sides of the body. Completely release the low back. And then one more. Inhale, pressing into the feet. The hips lift. The arms come up overhead, bringing blood to the brain, taking some stress off the heart. Press into your feet. Exhale, the arms come from overhead. Release down as the hips come back down to the mat. Completely release that low back. Beautiful. Let's release the knees to the outside edges of the mat. Soles of the feet together. This is reclined badakanasana. Reclined Cobbler's pose. I like to stack my hands on my belly and just take a few breaths here. Maybe sending the breath into the belly, feeling your stacked hands rise. You can send air into your belly on the inhale, and then exhale. Feel the belly pull back towards the spine. You can always place the blocks underneath your knees here as well. Couple more breaths. Feel that release in the low back. Feel that release in the hips. And then pointing your knees up towards the ceiling. Your feet onto the mat. Arms along the sides of the body again. Let's prepare for some reclined pigeons. This is a great modification of a traditional pigeon pose. It's really great for sciatic nerve pain. It's also called a figure four, reclined figure four. So we're going to take the right ankle, put it on the left knee. Go ahead and flex your right foot if it's within your practice. That's going to protect your right knee a little bit. On the inhale, see if you can lift your left knee up and in towards your chest, maybe grabbing a hold of the back of the thigh, maybe grabbing a hold of the front of the left shin here. If that's a little intense, maybe just lifting the left foot slightly up off the mat. See where you're at. Listen to your body in this moment. We'll take 3 breaths here. Breathing into that right leg especially. Your shoulders might not be touching the mat right now, but just keep them relaxed. Release tension. And on your next exhale, release that left leg. The foot comes back down to the mat. Uncross the right ankle. Preparing for the other side. We're going to cross the left ankle onto the right knee. Flex the left foot, and on the inhale, bring that right knee into the chest. perhaps grabbing behind the thigh or the front of the shin, or just lifting the foot up off the mat. Inhale and exhale here. 3 breaths. You can also do something similar to this sitting in a chair. Still crossing the ankle onto the opposite knee and then folding forward over the legs. Make sure you do both sides to keep the body balanced. One more breath. Exhale, release the right foot down to the mat. Uncross the left ankle. Maybe let's windshield wiper our knees. I like to place my arms out like a T. Inhale with the knees pointing up. Exhale, release both to the right side. Adding a little twist. You can deepen the twist by looking the opposite way. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both knees to the left, perhaps looking to the right. You're going to feel a little massage on the glutes here. Keep going at your own pace. Linking your breath with your movements. And then some international windshield wipers. Releasing the knees to the sides of the mat and then bringing them back to center. And if it feels good, bring your knees in for a squeeze. Let the tailbone fall heavy. Relax your shoulders. Feel free to rock left to right, really massaging out the low back. And when you're ready, roll all the way over onto your side. Take a moment, transition up onto hands and knees. We're going to prepare for some cat-cow spinal stretching. So you're going to take a moment. You want to stack your joints. You want your wrist under your shoulders and your knees under your hips here. Find that nice neutral table, we call it. Sometimes it helps to gently spread the fingers apart. Your index fingers can point towards the front edge of your mat, or maybe it feels better to actually angle the hands slightly out to the sides. Play around with this. See what works for you. If you have any wrist issues, I really would recommend using some blocks or something even that you can elevate your forearms on. You can take all the pressure off your wrists here for cow-cat spinal stretching. You can also, again, sit in a chair. Modify that way. Or if it feels good to tense your fingers, or some people like to come onto fists, a lot of different modifications. All right, noticing the mat, noticing the connection you have with it. Inhale and exhale here. On your next inhale, the tailbone lifts, the belly hangs low, chest presses through the shoulders, perhaps the neck and head lift if that is within your practice today. If your neck is uncomfortable, go ahead and just adjust it as necessary so you have a neutral feeling. On the exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone, round the back like a cat, looking through the legs, pressing into the mat, fully exhaling. Cat pose. Inhale, tailbone lifts, belly hangs, chest presses through the shoulders as perhaps the neck and head lift. Cow pose, release that low back. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your back, release the neck and head. Keep going at your own pace. Exhale, squeezing out all the air as you come into cat. And from here, we'll transition right back into balasana, child's pose. Child's pose can be modified in a lot of different ways. I've heard people say, you know, child's pose is just not comfortable for me. I know it's supposed to be a resting pose, but I just can't find that release in it. So let's talk about modifying it a little bit. We've got our blocks. You can place a block under your forehead. The hands can be back by your feet. The arms can be extended out, kind of getting a shoulder stretch in child's. Maybe you want to place your block under your booty, elevating your hips. or placing a rolled up blanket behind your knees can be helpful. Inhale and exhale here. Just play around with what feels good for you. Knees out to the sides, big toes either touching or pointing towards each other. Just give yourself a chance to rest, digest, and heal. We'll take 3 breaths here. Softening your abdomen on each exhale. This is a really great time to think of maybe the parts of your life that are not feeling in balance in respects to giving and receiving, maybe allowing and creating. Maybe through your practice, you can think of some ways to find that balance in your life. Sometimes just knowing what it is that we need is half the battle. And before we transition up, let's remind ourselves of our intention from the beginning of class one more time. And then coming back to your neutral table. Feel free to shake it out a little bit. Give your body what you need. All right, preparing for our downward facing dogs. A really great modification of down dog is a half dog or puppy pose. To find half dog, we're gonna place the forearms parallel on the mat. The hips are over the knees. They lift back as the forehead drops down to the mat. Now you can extend your arms, deepen the stretch a little bit, even float your forehead off the mat if that feels good, or keep it onto the mat, forearms on the mat as well. More traditional down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's curl the toes under. Inhale here. On the exhale, the hips come up and back, pressing into the mat. Soft knees here. Heels are making their way towards the mat. Maybe they're not touching today. That's okay. A lengthened spine is the most important part here. Downward facing dog. If you need to really bend your knees, give it a try. See if that makes you feel good. Maybe really bend the knees and then kind of begin to straighten them a little bit. Never locking the knee joints though. Inhale and exhale here, pressing through the hands, getting rid of any wrinkles in the wrists. One more breath here. Now from here, we're going to come up to a standing forward fold. So you have a lot of different options. You can hop your feet up to your hands. You can walk your feet up to your hands. You can come up to a standing position and then fold over your legs if that feels more comfortable. But I will meet you in a standing forward fold. I'm going to walk my feet up to my hands. Uttanasana. Again, soft knee joints. Release the shoulders, neck, and head. Release the hands down towards the mat. Maybe grab your opposite elbows, framing your face. Maybe bending your knees a little deeper, wrapping your arms around your legs, folding your torso onto your thighs. Whatever feels good for you. Inhale and exhale here, releasing the back. Maybe making some neck movements, some slow no's, some slow yeses with the head. Just releasing tension in the neck. If you have your opposite elbows, let's release the hands down to the mat. Inhale up to a flat back. And then exhale back over your legs. Inhale to a flat back. And exhale, release. Maybe feel yourself come a little deeper. Now we're going to come up safely. Bend your knees, hands on your hips. I want you to power into your legs and use your core to stand up nice and slowly. Beautiful. We're going to come into mountain pose here. We've got shoulders, hips over knees, knees over ankles, invisible string lengthening your spine from the crown of your head to the ceiling or towards the sky if you're outside. And let's just take a moment, feet are hip width apart, relax the toes. Take a breath here. Feel free to close the eyes, Tadasana or mountain pose is an amazing grounding pose. It's so easily accessible. It's often underestimated because it seems like such a simple expression of the body. But just take a breath in through your nose. On your exhale, feel that breath travel all the way down your body, down your legs, and out the soles of the feet. As if you're growing roots into the earth. Let your spine lengthen. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Another breath here. Finding a feeling of being steady and at ease. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes, wiggle your fingers, give your body what you need. If it feels good to shake it out, shake it out. We're gonna prepare for tree pose. Come back to that mountain position. Again, hips over knees, knees over ankles. Standing up nice and tall. We're gonna shift the weight into the left standing leg, bend your right knee forward and then out to the side. Connect the sole of the right foot somewhere on that standing leg. It's okay to keep your toes on the mat. If it feels good to place it a little higher on your leg, just make sure you're staying away from your knee joint. I'm gonna take a moment to find my focal point, my drishti point, something not moving out in front of me. And then placing hands together at the heart center if that feels good. If you're feeling steady here, you want to extend your arms up overhead. Go for it. Maybe open your hands out. Any kind of tree you want to be. Inhale and exhale here. If your ankle's tracking like mine, it's all good. That's what it's supposed to do. Oh, if you come out of your tree, just come right back in. All right. This is a real practice, right? This is not edited. All right. Finding your tree. And when you're ready, release your hands back down to your heart if they're not already there. Your toes down to the mat. Point the knee. Shake it out. All right, let's do the other side. Back to your mountain pose. Inhale and exhale here. Shift the weight into the right standing leg. Bend your left knee forward and then out to the side. And place the sole of that foot somewhere on the standing leg or else keep your toes on the mat. Great hip opener here. Great leg strengthener. So good for balance. One side's probably going to be a little easier than the other. Obviously, this is my easy side today. Left side, right side, tight side, right? All right. Again, just have fun with your practice. There's enough seriousness, there's enough stress in this world. Carve out this time just for you. Any kind of tree you want to be. This is a great one. If you have a wall handy, you can always put a hand against the wall. You can always grab the back of a chair. And you'll find, different days it seems easier. Whether that's the amount of caffeine you've had, the tightness in your body. And then releasing the hands back down, the toes back down to the mat. Point that left knee forward. Shake it out. Very nice. All right, let's stand facing the front of the mat just to get the blood pumping a little bit. Standing in your mountain pose, hands together at your heart. Let's inhale the arms up. Look up overhead, the hips gently come forward. Exhale, swan dive into your standing forward fold. Releasing the shoulders, neck, and head. We're going to take a step back with the left foot. coming into a low lunge. If it feels good to drop that left knee, certainly do so. Inhale and exhale here. And then stepping back with your right foot, let's find plank. Strong belly, straight line of energy. Inhale and exhale here. From here, we can drop the knees, chest and chin, or else lower yourself down in chaturanga. And then we'll meet in cobra, sliding forward. The hands are spread underneath the shoulders. On the inhale, the chest lifts. Keep your shoulders relaxed here. Maybe you're a very low cobra today. Maybe you're able to press up into a little higher cobra. Listen to your low back, of course. Inhale here. Exhale, the forehead back down to the mat. And let's slowly transition into a down dog. So maybe that's coming onto hands and knees first, and then lifting the hips up and back. Inhale and exhale here. All right, we're going to step forward with the left foot now. So even if that means grabbing a hold of your pant leg and bringing your foot up to the inside of your left hand, take your time to get there. Feel free to drop your right knee if you did it on the first side. Inhale and exhale here. Feel the stretch. Then we're going to press into that back foot, bring it up to meet the left, sneak in a standing forward fold, Uttanasana. We're going to come up safely. I want you to either reverse swan dive up or place your hands on your hips and power up using the legs and the core. Arms are going to come up overhead regardless. Let's take another look up above. Hips gently press forward. And then exhale, the hands back to heart center. Close your eyes. Notice how you feel. When you're ready, open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and toes. Let's meet back down on the mat in Crocodile Pose. We're going to grab our opposite elbows, forehead on the forearms, legs extended. You can press into the tops of your feet. You can press into your thighs here. Inhale and exhale here. When you're ready, go ahead and look up. Let's release the hands back towards the feet and rest your head onto the mat. Now, you can adjust this in a lot of different ways. It's uncomfortable for my neck personally to put my forehead on the mat. That doesn't work for me. I like to rest my chin, but certainly make any adjustments to make yourself a little bit more comfortable. Now, we're going to kind of break down Locust Pose. So I want you to press the top of the left foot and press the left thigh into the mat. No pressure on your neck and head. It's all in your leg. Then float the right leg up off the mat. Inhale and exhale here. Again, no pressure on the neck, head, chin, forehead, nothing. It's all in the low body. Inhale here. Exhale, release the right leg down. Relax both legs. All right, now the opposite side. So press your right thigh and the top of your right foot into the mat. Activate the leg that's on the mat and then just float the left leg up. Forget about it. Inhale and exhale here. It's the leg on the mat that's activated. Inhale here. Exhale, release the left leg down to the mat. All right, preparing to lift both legs. You can keep your arms extended along your body. You can make fists with your hands and slide them underneath your body. You can place your palms on the tops of your thighs. And again, no pressure on the neck and head. We're going to lift both legs up off the mat. Inhale, exhale, release both legs down. Beautiful. If you want to release your arms from underneath you, we can inhale, lifting the legs, lifting the chest, and lifting the arms, pointing the fingertips back. Inhale and exhale here. Another inhale, exhale, release down to your mat. Let's press slowly, slowly, slowly into a child's pose. Giving your body what you need, maybe rocking side to side a bit. Soften the belly with each exhale. And then let's roll up onto our knees, swing the legs out in front. We'll sneak in a quick boat pose here. Bend your knees, plant your feet on the mat, place your hands slightly behind your seat, or reach around for the backs of the legs. We're gonna lift the right leg up, parallel with the ceiling or the sky, and then the left leg. Maybe it feels good to alternate which leg. Great modification. If it feels good to point your fingers towards your feet, keeping your heart and chest open, activating the core. A strong core is a healthy back. Inhale and exhale here. Play around with it. Have fun. Row your boat. This is going to take your mind off your stomach. You can do some kayaking. Get some side core work. The arms can go out. The hands can go up overhead. And then release down to the mat. Slowly, 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 slowly. I'll meet you down. Let's take another sweeping movement with the arms overhead. Flex the feet and then release. Coming into Shavasana pose. Release the feet out to the sides. Release the arms along the sides of the body. Preparing for deep relaxation. Make yourself comfortable here. Maybe a rolled up towel under your knees or a bolster if you have one. Maybe just the weight of a folded blanket across your hips. Maybe if you have a lavender eye pillow, a weighted eye pillow to place across your eyes, or even a scarf or a light folded up t-shirt. We're going to inhale here, and on the exhale, just feel yourself begin to sink into the mat. Letting go of any tension. Give yourself mental permission to just take this time to let go. Relax your toes, your feet, and your ankles. Relax your calves, soften your knees, and relax your thighs, hips, glutes. Soften your low belly and completely release tension in the muscles of the low back. Your palms are facing the ceiling. Let the fingers gently curl in towards the centers of the hands. Relax your forearms, soften your elbows. Relax your biceps and triceps. Completely relax your shoulders. Soften the muscles across the upper back and your chest as you slow your breath to slow, shallow inhalations and exhalations. Soften your throat, relax the muscles of your neck, and release your jaw. Smooth out any worry lines on your forehead. And finally, take this time to quiet the mind. Any thoughts that arise during this time, simply notice them without judgment, without an emotion attached, and let them pass through. Please feel free to stay here as long as you possibly can. If you need to get going, first bring your attention back to your breath and then to your body by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Take your time rolling over onto one side and then gently pressing up to a comfortable seated position. Placing your hands together at your heart center. Take a moment to remind yourself again of your intention from the beginning of our practice. Take a moment to honor your efforts for just showing up, for just getting the mat out of the closet. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.